People are growing more and more concerned by the day that the Prius is falling, off, that, we're not going to see any more Prius models ever again. So let's look at the Prius sales chart, shall we? Starting off in the year 2000, almost no sales, maybe 4,000. 2001 went up, 2002 went up, 2003 went up. This was the first generation. It didn't do a whole lot for the Prius, but it did a lot in that it beat the Insight. 2004 skyrocketed to 54,000, 2005 about 105,000, 2006 back down a little bit to 104,000, 2007 shot way up to like 175,000, 2008 went down again a little bit, 2009 down, 2010 up, 2011 down, 2012 way up. So right here we've already got a dip. Now I've talked about this before with car sales in general, right? How there are trends and stuff like that. So is this because the trend was ending and then Toyota revived it, or a new model came out? The answer is going to be so great and so clear that you're going to be like, wow, that sums everything up. The answer is maybe, kind of, just okay, maybe. Essentially, yes, Toyota did come out with the C&V in 2012, which definitely helped the sales, but the real reason why, sales started to dump here was a little thing called the recession. People really didn't know what mortgages are, and they just kept doing more mortgages, and people started, investing in the mortgages, and then people with the houses, and they couldn't pay off the mortgages. It was a bunch of stuff here. It was a bunch of crap, and I remember that was just an awful time. So, yeah, that's why the Prius slumped. 2012, the economy had healed itself, and the Prius was back on sale, and 2011, 2013, and then it just went down. And with every single year, for the most part, if you go like, nah, not really so much. Big jump, bigger jump, and then not that much, right? So if you just kind of skip every other one, the sales numbers are in fact going down by a significanter amount. So this is very concerning. But like I said, before you root for the team, you have to know the cast. So let's get into the generations, right? The first generation was the one that did the heavy fighting, right? The Prius wasn't the gigantic giant it was today. It was, in fact, this small little Corolla hybrid fighting against the Insight for place number uno, and this thing won hands down. The second generation of Prius, which I own, I love this generation, by far one of my favorite generations. Third gen is my all-time favorite. This thing came out in 2004. Toyota said, we're going to revamp it, we're going to give it all aerodynamics. Remember, it had some aerodynamic. Oh, that one doesn't have the weird vent. Where'd the weird vent go? Oh, yeah. There it is. It had some aerodynamic features, but what you can tell here, it wasn't designed from the bottom up to be, aerodynamic. This thing looked like a teardrop. In fact, one thing that I don't think people notice about the Prius in photos, it's so long. It's like a limousine. It's longer than my RAV4. Well, at least my parents' RAV4, because I had it and then stuff like that. And it's actually longer than that one. And the RAV4 is an SUV. It's just ridiculous. They're just so long, short, and teardrop shaped. Just so amazing. The next car on this list is the third generation. This started in 2010, piston ring problems. 2011, no more piston ring problems. And then 2012, they gave it a facial update. Now, you know me, there were some slight changes from 2005 to 2006. They upgraded the dash material from a horrible painted material to a textured one, as Greg, my car angel, said. But, I didn't really show you two photos yet because nothing really big happened there. So for me to split this to, one generation into two pits just for a small little, style change, what came here? We got the Prius C, the Prius City, the small Prius, the Prius V, the van, the big one, the family vehicle without a third row though, and then the Prius plug-in hybrid. This was the start of the Prius. The Prius was going, the ball was rolling. The Prius was going to be the catalyst for which all other hybrids would sit on and aim to be. That happened. 2016, the weight was off the Prius's shoulders and onto someone else's shoulders, which I'll talk about in a minute. There was also the 2016 Prius Prime, which was kind of crazy. Then you had 2024, they updated the Prius to this beautiful, weird, like, spidery-looking wheel cover design, which isn't bad. I actually really like it. Then you have the new Prius Prime. So, let's look at hybrid sales as a whole. Maybe hybrids just are not selling anymore. Maybe it's not the Prius. Maybe it's the hybrid sales. Well, the short answer is kind of maybe yes. So hybrid sales were very, very low, just 17 in 1999, and then they started to shoot up, and then, just huge. And then they went down for the recession, and then they skyrocketed back up, and then they went back down. By the way, this green bar is actually the Prius sales, so we can see that the hybrid sales overall are still going up significantly year after year. Like, again, if you skip every other year, because points. Anyway, just overall great. And you can just see how well the original Prius sold compared to all its... I mean, look at that. What did Honda sell, like 4? So, yeah, you can just, see how well they sold. So, Prius hybrid numbers, while they are going down, they are recovering and going back up. And the Prius numbers, we can just see they're just going down the toilet. Before we could only see it to 2017. Now it's much, much worse. And it's increasing in 2019, not going down like 2017. Well, you know what I mean. So, yeah. Why is the Prius failing? Why is the Prius sales numbers going down? Is it just that people don't want the Prius anymore? I know. It's very hard for me to say this. No, it's because essentially the Prius was always kind of meant to do that. The Prius, like I said, the Prius was the catalyst. The Prius was bringing, hybrids to the market. That was the point of the Prius. Not to be the hybrid that they were going to buy, right? The Prius was great. It introduced the technology. It did a whole lot. But in the end, Toyota had bigger plans, right? Unlike GM, where they just make one vehicle, like the EV1 or Volt, and then never do that again, Toyota had a plan. Now, the Prius has always had a running mate, right? There was always who is Frank Sinatra? Oh my god, it's so tired. Anyway, there was always a Sunny. Yeah, there was always a Sunny to the share, right? And so... the Toyota Prius's Sunny was the Toyota Highlander hybrid. This had been sold since 2004, and it was kind of the running mate with Toyota. And then we got the Camry hybrid, and then we got the RAV4 hybrid in 2016, and, that's what kind of happened. Other Toyota hybrids kind of took over, and Toyota hybrid sales are extremely up, statically up. So, imagine this. The Prius sales are going down, but the Toyota hybrid sales are going up. The Prius is just the catalyst for the Toyota hybrid sales. That's why the sales are declining. And also, a lot of companies like GM have this knee-jerk reaction where they say, the car isn't selling anymore, we gotta cancel it. And I don't know about you, I love the Prius. Even if I don't really, which I do, even if I didn't like the latest generation, I'd still like it to be around in hopes that there'd be a new, better generation, or that the car history is still being made and being preserved by this car company. And that's why I love Toyota. They don't do that knee-jerk reactions most of the time. So, are they discontinuing? No, they're not. And Toyota understands this. Toyota knows that the Prius was always meant to be the catalyst, and they know that the Prius was successful. It helped launch all these other cars, which are best sellers in their classes. Best sellers, right? The Prius sales declining. It's not because the Prius is bad. It's not because people don't want the Prius. It's because the other hybrids are now taking the mantle from the Prius and just running with it. And that's how things are going, right? So, with that, that's pretty much it. Now, what actually did succeed? What was Toyota actually trying to sell? Because it's easier just to say, these other kind of cars were in there somewhere in the mystery group on which Toyota was trying to sell everyone on. The stinking hybrid Synergy drive. No one talks about every single new Toyota hybrid has a hybrid Synergy drive system in it. Now, when you talk about the hybrid Synergy drive system, a lot of people like to think it's like a CVT or something. No, it's how, the transmission, the electric motor, and the engine all kind of work together with, charging the battery and all that stuff. That's how it works. Now, you may know, Honda's IMA, Integrated Motor Assist. That was different, where the motor was strapped, connected to the engine. The hybrid Synergy drive allowed one to drive the car, at one time, not both going at the same time where one is just off, right? Like IMA, which is why the hybrid Synergy drive system, or HSD, was always much better than IMA, Integrated Motor Assist. So what was Toyota trying to sell us on, this entire idea, this idea of hybrids? They were trying to sell us on, Toyota's hybrid Synergy drive system, which is still used in all their hybrids today. So, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys real soon.